All right, we got 4 people watching. Hello to
Hey
our
guys.
4 peeps. What's up, everybody? And those of you watching the replay. All right. So Hala just gave us her little introduction, background about her. And yes, the first question is, what was your first experience with Justin and Faith to Influence?
Totally. So I was kind of just saying, Joni had introduced this challenge to me and said the rules of engagement just spoke to her so clearly that the people running this challenge were different than any other salesperson, coach that she'd encountered. And so I was like, okay, Joni, checked out the rules of engagement, joined the challenge, showed up. I was one of the people without video on because I had my baby in the background. I was just like, okay, I'll just see what this is. And Justin came on with his heart story and that he shared about today, like kind of how that's really important to start an event with sharing who you are, sharing your experience, being extraordinary and ordinary. And I was just blown away by this guy who was willing to be so vulnerable in where he's been with his business, where he's going with his business, and just open to share his knowledge for free with people. And not just share it, but share it with integrity and honesty. And I think his character just spoke so boldly to me that I just, after that first day, I was like, whoa, this Joni was right. Sorry for, being a little like eye roll at Joni because wow, she was right. This company, this group, this leader is different than any other salesperson or coach that I've interacted with. And so it just made me want to learn more and want to learn as much as I could and be influenced by him.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I'm sure that answer will make not only Justin, but also Joni feel good for the little shout out there.
I
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah. So you have been working with us for almost 9 months now. And the question is, what are the most valuable things that you've gained, whether tangibly or intangibly?
Totally. I think, yeah, I guess I could speak to both. The biggest thing that I've grown in and learned from working with Faith to Influence is that who I am and what my value is important. And that I need to honor that in everything that I do. And I've kind of popped into each of the challenges just because I love learning from you guys and love trying to soak up as much as I can. And it's really cool to think back to that January challenge. I just had such a low perception or low, I don't know if standard is the right word, but my value was down here. Like I was charging like $30 per client. And 50 felt like crazy to me. And now I have 2 clients that are paying, or 2 or 3 clients who are paying $250 an hour to work with me, and some who are paying 500. So it's like that, just that in and of itself has been a huge shift. I think for me, the biggest leaps have been in my mindset and how I present myself to others and how I view myself as a coach. And then just like tangibly with the structure of, I've kind of experimented with a few different things that I think today Justin talked about, like retreats and challenges and different models. And so I'm still at the beginning phase of my business and I've been experimenting with some of those. Had really great success with a challenge. I think I'm going to do that again this September. For me personally, I'm a one-woman show, and so it was really exhausting. So I personally can't do a lot of challenges in a year, but I did gain 2 new clients from the very first challenge that I ran. And so like, hello, I need to do that again. McColl, hold me accountable to that. I need to do that again.
Yes, good reminder for both of us right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of playing with retreats because I really want to be a speaker. I really want to be in front of people. I want to be empowering people with my voice and feel really strongly that that's something that God's calling me to do. So I'm working towards that and thinking through how I can host retreats that people and get people to them. That's kind of my challenge right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that, and then the pre-frame that I think is tomorrow's
Yep.
Masterclass. That is so huge, going over the pre-frame and the sales call and mastering that process. That was Justin mentioned that today, like going into each call with, it's okay if you don't make a sale, master the process. That's something I've really been working on over the past 9 months. And every time I'm getting closer and closer to mastering that process.
Yeah, you are a really good example of every single call focusing on mastery and getting better every single time. And I remember back at the beginning 9 months ago when hearing no was very difficult, and it's still difficult, but it feels like you've gained a little strength there. You've become a little bit more of a veteran and are a little more used to it. Yeah. So before we go into the third question, would you don't have to if you wouldn't like to, but would you be open to sharing like how much you were doing in business per month before you joined?
Yeah, I wrote this down. I should have gotten it in front of me. So I maybe I can try to write it in the comments, but essentially like I was making right now I'm making $750 a month, which is leaps and bounds above. I think I was making maybe $100 a month
Mm-hmm.
and that was like on a good month with, coaching previously, because I was just trying to get experience, like, oh, $10 free, like I'll do this deal on, like I
Yeah.
would do things on my Instagram story, like just trying to get in front of people and educate people on coaching, and not recognizing that like I don't need to teach people what coaching is. I just need to show them and show up for them and really help them to have the transformations that they need. So yeah, so I don't have the exact numbers. I could get it and write it in the
Yeah,
comments,
that'd
but
be cool if we could put in the comments. So
yeah,
somewhere around 100, jumping up to 750,
yeah.
and so I guess the next mark is 1,000.
Yes. Hopefully this month.
That's what I'm talking about. We're almost there. I love it. Um, so that's a good segue, us talking about you really being a learner and watching the sales course that's a part of the mastermind a bunch of times, and all these different things where you've been showing up to all the extra stuff that we have, showing up to the challenges again and again and again. So, and I think you're a really great example for someone who is just starting out, and 9 months later you've got a relatable story where it's not like you're all of a sudden a millionaire, but you've made really, really, really significant progress that's going to help you feel sustainable in the long run. So the third question is, what tips do you have for the people who are in the camp that you were in 9 months ago?
Yeah, so good. Yeah, I was actually talking to my husband recently that like I've been really frustrated with things aren't happening for me as fast as I want them to happen. And yet I'm planting so many seeds. And that's what I just have to be mindful of, like the conversations that I'm having. In my opinion, every single sales call that I've had has been fruitful because I've followed the process and I've asked for referrals, and they now
Nice.
understand what I'm doing. And so nothing has been wasted, even though my income isn't where I hope it will be eventually, where it will be eventually, not hope. It's
Yeah, yeah, there's no hope.
um but it's just like I've grown as a human so much from each of those calls, and my circle has grown leaps and bounds from this as well. So my advice is, don't just show up to the master classes, but participate in the VIP group coaching. Like I can't say enough about how valuable that time is. I'm still popping in now, even though I'm part of the mastermind. Like I just love being coached by McColl and Justin so much. And if that's not feasible for you right now, make sure you're doing the challenges that they put. So it's not just learning like hearing the things, but actually putting into action. If you just do those things by the end of the week, you will have so much to grow your business. It's like really unbelievable to me. And that was actually part of why the next question is, are we at why did I join the mastermind already or no?
Go for it.
All right, just like transitioning.
Yeah.
When, from that week, just showing up, doing the challenges, being a part of the group coaching, and just being all in all week, I knew probably, even just like by day 2 or 3, like, wow, these are the people that I want to be influenced by. This is the group that I want to surround myself. I'm really big on, who you're around, you become like those people. And as far as business goes, I am very much a people person, like I know people, I can interact well, I'm empathetic. It's part of why I'm a coach. I'm sure there's people listening who are like, yes, same. But when it comes to business, that is a whole new realm to me. I am brand new, and I was a special education teacher for 5 years. So I have no previous knowledge of how to run a business. And I really wanted to be impacted and taught and coached by not only people who understand business, but people who understand how to have an honorable business, how to run it with integrity, how to serve God with their finances, how to just really be fully surrendered to Him in all aspects of the business. And that was so evident to me throughout the challenge, every time showing up. And I just really felt like, I'd mentioned previously, I don't think it's in the recording, but I'd mentioned God had kind of called me to stop marketing, stop coaching, and focus on my family when my daughter was born for the first 4 months. And it really felt like for me in January, this challenge and Faith to Influence was kind of God saying, like, see, I told you I had something for you. Like, this is why I needed you to wait. These are the people who are going to teach you to do the things that I need you to do. And so it was not financially feasible for my husband and I. We are living on one salary, essentially, in the $750 that I make a month. And we are just in a mindset and a season of just really trusting God and really being in communion with Him constantly and focusing on what is it that you want us to do with our life? What is it you want me to do with my coaching practice? Is Faith to Influence still the people you want to influence me? And that answer continues to be yes. And so even though it seems like, wow, how do I afford this every month? God always provides. And it's not, what I'm getting is more valuable than what I'm giving, if that makes sense. How I'm changing as a person, how I'm changing as a businesswoman, is far more valuable than the money that I'm spending on it. Or, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate you sharing that, because there's probably 3 different types of people that we have in this group right now. There's the types who, to join our mastermind is just not going to be financially feasible at all, and they can't make it work. Then there's going to be the people who it's probably going to be a little bit easier to just say, yes, I'm in a financial spot where I can go for it. And then there's a good amount of people who are going to be in a similar situation as you, where it's doesn't really feel realistic and it feels a little bit uncomfortable. And I love what you said about continuing to ask God, is this where you have me? And knowing that, by joining the mastermind, it's a 1-year commitment, but you get to continue asking that question. And this is an investment that you could spend 1 year. And, we hope that you're with us forever. We hope, you hit the, multiple $1,000 mark, and then it, pays for itself and all those things. But in reality, for people who are here making that decision, that the difference between a successful coach and someone who can't ever get their business off the ground is oftentimes just one decision. That one decision to say, I'm going to commit to myself and go all in. And Hala, the reason that your business has jumped from $100 to $750 and going beyond that is because you made one decision to really commit to yourself. So I'm going to add to this little video for those who are watching that whether or not it's the right time for you to join the mastermind on Friday, that I'm going to encourage you to make that choice and make that commitment to yourself to go all in and give everything that you got, because that's the difference. Continuing to do things the same way you've been doing them is just going to keep you where you're at. Hala, do you know that quote, whatever it is about the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result?
Oh, yes.
Something like that. I don't know if the exact word is stupidity, but yeah. We're all on the same page here. We're going off the cuff. But yeah, that's my encouragement for you guys. And I hope that it was really helpful to hear Hala's perspective today. Hala, do you have any last comments, things to share with people that are on your heart?
Yeah, one thing I did want to add to, like, back to the question of what have I learned over the past couple months, whatever, how valuable community is. Like, not only have you guys as coaches been really influential to me, but the community of fellow coaches. I got to go on the retreat a couple months ago back in June, and we meet.
Yeah, you're famous, by the way, because you're in the intro video like a bunch of times.
I gotta pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the retreat was unbelievable because of Justin and McColl and Grace, and because of the friendships that I've built and the community that Faith to Influence has built.
Yeah, thanks for the credit, but I would say it's mostly great because of the people there. I mean, honestly,
You guys
honestly.
have developed, you guys have fostered that community though.
Yes,
And so
Justin
that
done a
is,
great job, but you're right. Yeah.
you too, McColl, you've contributed as well. McCall's very helpful. He needs more shout outs, but yeah, like the people there who've spoken so much truth into my life and again, what I'm capable of has also shifted my perception of myself and what I'm capable of, because just hearing someone else that you don't know well at the beginning say, I see this in you, is like, you see that in me? Like, I don't know. I'm a words of affirmation person too. So
Yeah.
that's huge. But just having other successful coaches where I want to be say things like that to me and see the potential that I have has been really powerful.
Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing that. And thanks for spending a little bit of time and sharing your perspective with everybody today. So if anybody has questions with it, it'd be okay if they commented on this video or sent you a message
Sure.
or things
Yeah,
like
you guys
that.
can send me a message, send me a friend request. I love building my network, as I mentioned before. Or yeah, comment below if you feel like your question will be valuable for other people. Or if you have private questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah. Yeah. You use Hala as a resource. She's opening it up to you. I know some people are gonna be afraid to ask those questions, but those of you who take advantage of it, you'll see the rewards. So thank you again, Hala. You can hang on the Zoom for just a second, but we'll wave at everybody as we end the Facebook Live. Peace out.